back on the Roll In Bandsaw. I spent a couple of nights this week getting the Rockwell saw all cleaned up and ready to go to its new home, fixing the hydraulic feed cylinder and doing a little bit more than I planned, but I was selling it to a friend of mine, so I wanted it to be nice. And it is nice, so he's got a good saw, and now I'm gonna try and make this a good saw. So a couple of things. I had two viewers share some photos with me of their bandsaw, of their roll-in, which is much appreciated. And I think the reason this is an open drip proof motor is because of the clearance. So unfortunately, where the gearbox sits, right here, yeah, see if you can see it. So on a fully enclosed fan-cooled motor, there's a junction box, a pecker head right there. And so just the way it fits on a number 56 frame, the pecker head is in the way and you physically wouldn't be able to fit it in there. So I'm still thinking about how I want to address that, if I want to just go with another open drip proof, cooler motor or something like that, and just deal with the short lifespan, having chips and stuff get in there, or making a plate to lower the motor down, and then obviously, nothing wrong with using a longer belt. The only problem there is I'm concerned about clearance on the bottom. If I go too low, then I'm gonna be running into that piece of angle iron, and still need to be able to have the saw go all the way back and forth. But anyway, those are still some ideas. If you have other thoughts, or someone that didn't see the first video is now chiming in and they have the perfect solution, I'd appreciate it. But that's our deal with our motor. So the first thing we're gonna do today is hook up a spare VFD that I've got and see how it goes with powering this little guy. We'll just do a temporary wiring job to see how it sounds, and assuming the motor is still good. The other thing I'm hoping to get done is to install these new Blue Max urethane tires. So those guys seem to be fairly decent. They're on eBay and Amazon, bandsawtirewarehouse.com. So we'll see how well those work. And I mean, they can't be better than, or can't be worse than nothing, which is what I have right now. I just have goo underneath the blade against the wheel. So let's see if we can wire up the VFD and get it going. All right, cool. Go ahead and plug this guy in, and hopefully it doesn't let the smoke out anywhere. All right, not too bad. So we are on local. Now I've got to remember how to program this thing. All right, so we're going to program the amperage. No, we're not going to do that. We need to go over. There we go. 1, enter. So not 1.9 amps. We need 2.8 for this to be run in low voltage. And then enter. So that's it. All right, so I guess we will just stick that on run function, and we'll do kind of basically do a jog here. I don't want to cause any problems, but yeah, let's hit run and see what happens. Interesting, okay, so obviously the motor works. Unfortunately, let me zoom you up here where the guide is, and the blade has decided it doesn't want to be there anymore. So that's annoying. And since we're just trying to see how the motor works, and we're gonna need to take the blade off anyway to get the new tires on, I think we'll just run with no blade. Probably should have done that in the first place anyway. All right, Kind of sounds like a clunky gearbox. Don't see anything terribly wrong. Looks like that wheel has some run out on it, but I guess I don't know what to expect. I'm guessing it wouldn't be super good from the factory. But that, yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that motor. Here's our first bit of cleaning. Thought I was going nuts over there. 5/32. Seems like, it's close, but it won't go in there. And then the next size down is way too small. So I got my metric wrenches out, thinking there's just no way, but I'll give it a shot. And there is no way. It's just that geniuses have been at work. There we go. Everything I touch, that happens. Just like stuff is everywhere. Now this guy is supposed to come out. I don't want to go whaling on it, but man, that is not moving. And what's the point of the set screw if that doesn't move out, in and out for adjustment? They offer some advice on how to install this thing, and unfortunately, it doesn't seem like much of it's going to help, because it says, oh, just use a clamp to clamp one part of the tire onto the wheel, but a solid wheel, I don't see how you could make use of that. But I don't know how else you're gonna, maybe I need to use like a machinist jack or something to spread. Oh, that felt like I was getting close. Ouch. Oh man. That is annoying. Mwahahaha. Holy smokes, that was a pain. As advertised. Hopefully this shows up well, but what I was noticing is that whoever put this fence on wasn't too careful and didn't mill the back, which, you know, I understand it's extra effort. But anyway, just put these on, and I'm assuming that that's the draft from the casting, but you can see that's quite a large gap from top to bottom. I showed on Instagram basically a picture of that, and some of the suggestions were, well, that's probably there on purpose so that, you know, if you have a piece of round in here and you push on it with the vise, it won't have the tendency to squeeze up. And I guess it can probably play to that, but I'd rather have maximum contact, you know, on a square or a rectangle, having the bottom of it flat on the table and then the sides of it, you know, touching the fence and the pusher. I don't know what else to call this thing, but a pusher. Not too bad. It's a couple of bumps. They did, though, there are blind holes underneath those roll pins. That is not very nice. So I think we are done with disassembly for now. There's a couple more things that need to come apart, but they don't have to come apart right now. So here's the underside of our throat, pretty nasty still. That's got to be cleaned up. There's the backstop and the counterweight, and there's the upper guide bar. There's the stop. There's the original swivel plate clamping system. That is the bracket that holds the upper saw blade guide. Here is our work positioner. That is the old door handle knob thing that somebody cobbled together. There's our feed cylinder. And there's the lower blade guide assembly. Oops, right here. And then that is the front support for the feed cylinder. So what all do we need to do? Obviously this has got to go. I may replace the entire vise and or the entire work positioner and then use that for something else, just to have a brand new one since the rod is all destroyed anyway. This little shaft needs to be replaced. Somebody, I don't know what they did, how they got that mangled that badly. This one's pretty cleaned up already. I got most of the crud out of the bearings. So we'll see if that's usable the way it is. This part just needs cleaning. That part's fine, it's already cleaned. I've got to repair the feed cylinder, obviously. This guy I still didn't get apart, so I need to get that shaft out of there and then clean up these guys, make sure they're still usable. Nothing wrong with that dude. I think I am gonna go ahead and, while I'm out doing all this effort, go ahead and replace the plates on the front of this. That should be a fairly simple job and something I should have material sitting around for. And then of course the big one is the table. And so I think what we're gonna do is, first of all, mill this backside. So that is 90 degrees to the top of the table. And then I'm still thinking about this, so I may change my mind and do something other than what I say now. But my idea is so I may mill down from the top some distance in here, and then actually fasten those insert plates from the bottom. And that way my insert plates will be perfectly flush with the top of the table, and there's just the gap between the table and the insert for chips to collect and stuff to be in the way. So not having fastener heads on top of the table. Taking this table off was really no big deal at all, despite being all filthy. So if I do need to replace those, I'm okay with taking it off and flipping it over to get to the screws. So that's the plan right now. If I need to, another thought I've had is milling this underside flat, because I'm sure that's just the rough casting. So if I mill that flat and make a 90-degree corner in there, I can actually put bars of some kind in here, whether it's mild steel or even aluminum or something, screw them on to these webs on the sides, and then I can have longer screws and maybe even do away with this entire thickness here, because that's only probably 3/16 or something. And by having that gone all the way, I can just have a full thickness, or a thicker insert plate rather. And then the long bar that goes on either side and is fastened to the webs will serve as our mounting point for kind of everything to hold together. So anyway, we'll see. Once I get that thing all cleaned up, I'll make some decisions. But I think that is gonna do it for now. I've got plenty of stuff I need to get ordered, and man, this is a project for sure, but I think it's coming along pretty well. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.